Hi, this is Christelle Martinet, and this is a video that will concentrate on nights in our dreams. This is part of the 101, Cartomancy 101 series that I mentioned a few weeks ago. And I also did mention to you that nights is an ambiguous word if you hear it, because nights is with the K in our nights and our dreams and the people that we think of when we dream. This is an invitation to all of you to start thinking about nights in your days. All right, we want to turn things on its head and start actualizing our thoughts. Start putting things into action, a little more agency. Let's have more agency and start knocking on those doors, start talking to people, start discussing what the night is, what your dream is, and actualizing it, putting in our days. And to do that, I thought I'd exchange with you a few of the views that I have from different decks that I have with me about how I look at the nights, how I see the nights, and what their role is in the reading. Because I could remember many people who do read cards, they come to me and they say, all these court cards, the court, the queens, the pages, the kings, and the knights, what are they saying? They're just there. I don't know how to read them. Well, I'd like to start out with with these four knights. These are taken from the Neapolitan deck that was my mother's many years ago. Could be, like I mentioned in my last reading, about 40 years old, 50 actually, 50 years old. Now, they are quite different, the four. If you take a look, this horse is fairly stable. It's more or less not rampant. Right? Then we have this horse. And if you can see here, whereas this knight is carrying a sword, and this knight is carrying a pentacle, and this knight is carrying a wand, we have this knight. Where did he go? Where did he go? This knight, here you go. Actually, if you can see, there's that cup up in the air by itself, and it is a cup because you could see here that there's the other gloved hand. So this is a cup in the air, and this is not uncommon actually. We find this in at least one of the knights in several decks. What that would mean to you in a reading is up to you. It depends on how it comes out in the spread. But there are other differences. For example, in this particular, this is why I started out with this. This is a horse, and these cards don't have upside down. They're always right side up, as you can see. And that's another reason why I like them. This is a horse, we could say, which is moving in one direction. And this knight has a mustache, and we're absolutely sure it's a man. Perhaps. Then we have this knight. Whereas this was going in one direction, this was going in an opposite direction. We still have this man, but looking in a different direction. Looking almost to his right, whereas this is looking straight forward. Then we have this knight, which is so odd. One, because of the position of the horse. This rider, this knight, seems to be looking backwards and offering up the pentacle, and no hand seems to be on the reins of the horse. Not only, if you can see that they have long hair, most of them have long hair. This is starting to have a sort of androgynous look to it. And here we have this odd knight. the horse, it's completely, the knight is with their back towards us. And oddly enough, it's the horse that's looking back, as if something was done and this is moving away. All right, this is the wand. Now keep these in mind, that when you read for these, at least in this deck, it will give you an indication of closeness to other things, other elements, other people, other court cards, and to other signs in the cards. Where this horse is going with relation to a card that it will be next to, and so on. And that's for the Neapolitan, this deck of Neapolitan cards. Now we have this deck of cards, which is the Tarot Illuminati, and I know many card readers don't like these cards that much because of the artwork. It's so full of artwork. It's difficult to, I have to admit, it is difficult to see the face of the people here, the face of the knights, and the artwork is there's a heavy hand here. But let's take them one at a time. All right, we have this, this horse is absolutely up in the air. It's a charge, right? This knight is charging, and this is a knight of wands. Then we have the Prince of Pentacles as a reaction to that, as a contrast, let's say, to that. It's a more stately gait. There is the legs of the horse. You can see that it is a trot, it is moving, but it's not charging. It's an earthly sign. Then, well, actually these knights are called princes. These are princes. So that in itself is something different. This is our Prince of Swords. And here too, like the wand, you can see there is much movement shown in the card. And the horse has a white mane, and it reflects the sword. And it gives you the impression of quicksilver. Very fast, and this also gives you an indication of time. And here we have the Knight of Cups, a prince. I keep calling it a knight, it's a Prince of Cups, but you can see there's a winged, this is a winged a winged prince. And the colors tend toward blue, as in many tarot decks actually, and you'll see in other cards that I have with me now. With the Prince or the Knight of Cups, what we'll see in many decks is a design of something that we do see in our dreams, and I'll show you with the Joanna Gargiulo Tarot. So there is a difference in terms of how fast they're moving, which direction they're charging, where they are looking at, and I would tend to say whether they seem like a man or a woman at all. Now, let's take the Joanna Gargiulo deck, and I'll separate them in twos. The two Quicksilver, all right, the two quick cards, all right. Now we have here this is the Knight of Swords. It's a very fast moving card, and in most tarot decks it is, charging straight toward you. This is also a fast-moving card, full of passion, very almost raging, moving directly, almost out of control. This is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Wands. Then we have the two more stable knights. One is again reflected, similar to there's the moon up top, so that should tell us that is in our dreams. It is a fantasy-like night in our dreams. Everything is still, there's barely no movement, and that should give you, it's a telltale sign that nothing's going to happen with nights in our dreams. Then we have to get them in our days, ladies and gentlemen. Then we have this odd, ever since I opened this deck, I always thought it was an odd, this is the Knight of Pentacles, and we don't see a horse, we don't see any other real symbolism behind that pentacle. We have the pentacle is fronted, and the knight itself has almost a panned face, no expression, very difficult to intuit this card, very difficult as a card next to, even as a source of spirituality. For me, the Pentacles is a strong symbol of spirituality. In this deck, it is quite mute, I would say. Now, from there, I'll go on to the, well, ambiguity. Let's take these Sforza Visconti deck. Here we have the Knight of Pentacles. Now, all right, it's a knight. We're going to call it a knight. But you can see, as I mentioned also in, I guess it was last week or 2 weeks ago, the knight is facing one direction. You only see, you do see, barely see two eyes. The one eye is almost invisible, but it is, in this case, you can see if you look closely. But the knight itself is somewhat childish-like, has the image of a child, but the horse in this figure is moving, almost at a trot, but it is moving. Right? This is the earth sign. Then we have here too the front. This is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups. Here we have the front legs of the horse up, so it just is a much moving, faster moving knight. Longer here. Hair. Here too. I'm hearing my hair in the picture there. Here too, there is a knight with there's only one eye there, looking straight ahead. We only get a side glance of this, and we have we are at bay whether to actually see this figure as a male or a female, but it may not matter since the cup is filled with many things that we shall see in the cards surrounding this. So this is an invitation to you to read it in relation to the other cards, to see where that knight is going, how fast it's going, how fast he's going or she's going, and what is in that cup, depending on what is surrounding that card. Now we have this Knight of Wands. Now the Knight of Wands here seems to be moving quite quickly, slow in relation to the Joanna Gargiulo deck. But here, in comparison to the other three knights, it has its fast movement. Here too, we are at bay as to if is this a man, is this a woman, doesn't matter. But it is moving quickly. It doesn't give us that impression of rampant passion that the other cards do. But compared to the other knights, it is moving and charging in. Now the last of these four knights in this deck is quite odd. It's different. It's distinct from the others. What do we have here? We have a knight in armor, actually, and looking straight ahead, only one eye to us, brandishing the sword, the only one with a headpiece, and the entire horse is covered, but we do see the suggestion of a gait. It's moving slowly, and it has to be moving slowly with all that armor on and the poor horse covered as it is. So it is quite different compared to the other tarot decks. But there's one thing that you need to remember is the position that it's looking at, the position that it's looking toward, and what is immediately here in the position of your spreads. Now the last knights that I will be looking at are from the Marseille Tarot, the old Marseille Tarot that I began my readings with way back a few months ago. And this is the Knight of Wands that was so fast in the other tarot decks. Here we see it almost as a gate. There is a male, it can be a male figure if we like to consider it. But here too, we see the pentacle up in the air, which is very, very odd. It's looking in one direction. It's not held, similar to the other tarot deck where the cup was not held. And so this could give you food for thought in terms of what is nearby. What is interesting here, and why I consider the Pentacles as such a spiritual card is that it is in the air, actually. It is light and spirituality. Spirits are light. Let's go back and look at this. Let's go on and look at this odd depiction of the Knight of Wands. The horse's head is turned. We see the horse's both eyes. And here too, it's fairly stable comparatively to the other, compared to the other Knights of Wands that we saw charging. And this gentleman here has quite a smirk on his face, a huge hat, and opening the arm is well open, and it's an open figure. It's an invitation. Look where I'm going. Take a look, fanning out. A very interesting card this is. It's giving us a wide perspective, much different than the other cards. Well, here we have our sword charging ahead, closing one eye here. One eye is almost squinted. And here too, this knight has more of a armor about him. But the knight, this is the fastest knight in this group of knights, and the horse is moving quite quickly. Only one of the eyes of the horse is shown, and it's charging in one direction. Let's take the last of the knights in this card series. The cup. We have the cup in the hand of the knight. No hat this time. One on the reins, one on the cup, and the horse is at an even gait. Almost seems to be a pony. Almost seems to be a pony. Now, this is just to give you a view of different knights, and showing you that indeed they do speak, these knights. They do move. They give us indication of time, and not time so much as speed. Right? Not time in terms of the fall in 3 days, but in terms of how fast something comes about. Similar to the card, the tarot, the Eight of Wands, which is the shooting wands, that gives us an indication of something happening very, very suddenly. And that is the end of this very brief series, Cartomancy 101, Nights in Our Dreams, to welcome you to bring these nights in our days. When you're thinking about these nights, open a spread, look at where these nights are going, bring them out in the daylight. In the kitchen, I'm in a kitchen here. Bring them out into the daylight, have them speak to you and see what they are saying, and try to have them either speak to each other, speak to the other cards, see what they're trying to tell you. Have fun with these nights. It was a pleasure again. Enjoy yourself. Visit my website, ChristelleMartinet.com. Write to me if you'd like. I appreciate it. And thank you for your support, your shares, your subscriptions, and your likes. It's been a pleasure, and bye-bye until my next week's reading.